Okay, we're recording.
Yes. Okay.
All right, everybody. A little after 8:15, but we'll get the. Oh, it's 8 o'clock now. When did 8:15 the other day?
I think I need to tell her we need to change that. Yeah.
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 Was there any liquor licenses?
No, they're still pending dram shop, so nothing at this point.
I would make a motion to approve the agenda and the minutes as presented. And so far, I've found nothing wrong with accounts payable. Other than we're gonna cut the engineer down. He's spending way too much money.
I darn building. Yeah.
We have to buy that darn gravel. And with no liquor license, I second it.
We've got a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Visitors, supervisors, updates. I had a phone call with Western Iowa Networks and Ken Demlow and Ken's partner, Barry, I think was his name. They're trying to take our input of FRF funds for broadband, and they're trying to leverage them with some state and other grants. I don't think it's going to work.
Oh,
They're trying. They're trying to come up with another avenue to leverage it with someone here. So it's a work in progress. But once they get to where they want a decision made, I said, come see us. So
And I'll key on with you on this broadband, Lonnie. I had Dave Zeke look up some people or try and find some people I could talk to about the broadband. And he got a couple names for me. And the biggest problem is the money that they have for broadband. It's for emergency purposes. There's about 3 different categories that it falls into.
yeah,
And we as the county wanting to do broadband, we don't fall in any of them.
yeah.
The
but
lady-
if your purposes happen to be, because number one, we have a lot of people working from home, because due to the
I explained
COVID and
that to her.
things, and because of the school system as well, because we have kids that can't connect.
There is grant funding out there, and there's some auctions, they call it. I'm not sure the process. They could use an acronyms, but there are areas of Mills County that are available for some grant and matching monies, but it doesn't include where we want to go. The bulk of it is in and around Malvern. And I didn't think we wanted to spend our whole $1 million in Malvern.
No.
Henderson has fiber to the home, so it's not the Henderson area. Silver City does not qualify because they're using the numbers that were submitted on some federal form 2 years ago that Spiral lied about and admittingly falsified it. But Western Iowa Networks has bought Spiral since then, but they're still using those old numbers to divvy out the grant money. So they're looking at challenging it, which would be Western Iowa Networks / Spiral, because they're the same company now, challenging themselves. So they're wondering how that's going to look in the state's eyes. But right now, our county is showing served other than the Malvern area because of High Speed Howard and Spiral. So we're and they can.
There's a level of what that's called.
And Howard's, serves people. So does Spiral. PointNet does too, and they do supply the services. But there's a minimum benchmark of speed or bandwidth, and some of those are being met, some aren't. But right now, Mills County is not shown as a need, which we're showing as served. So there's, even though they've got it changed, the state and feds are using old numbers instead of actual numbers. So
But Western Iowa is challenging that.
they're looking at challenging it.
They're
Yes,
looking at
yes, yeah.
Oh my God.
And they have a
God
plan.
darn it.
They've already got a business plan that they want to go here, here, and here, and
Right.
they don't want to release all that to us, which is understandable. It's their business, but they're going to work with us. They want to overbuild Glenwood. They want to overbuild Mills County. There's an auction coming up here in a few weeks. Getting back to that, and they're going to be aggressive trying to get it, but they're not guaranteed. And if you get a CenturyLink or a MediaCom or another big outfit that wins the auction, they don't think it'll happen because those companies don't really want to serve the rural areas because there's not enough customers.
Well, at least the demographic, especially down south, and we have coverage issues way down south.
Yeah.
You know, the hills down your neck of the woods, there's
S-
not good
and
service down there.
Something else that I brought up, and I said this is a board decision. Don't make my decision or don't consider this the decision. But Mineola is served, and CenturyLink speed there is unbelievable. The town of Mineola and about a mile around it has plenty of service. Silver City does not. So we still got to get to Silver City. I told them that Silver City is one of our preferences.
Right.
I said we need to get it to that area
Or
and along the north corridor. But what I looked at possibly omitting is from Silver City to 34. That's about 27,000 feet. That's over 5 miles. Could we take this 5 miles and do something coming into Glenwood, something going into Malvern to help
I'll
loop
tell you,
everything on their
Malvern's got
side?
good. I have higher speed internet with CenturyLink in Malvern than I did in Glenwood.
Yeah.
Yeah, and less
Prob-
money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
Doesn't make sense.
So-
No, it doesn't.
S-
But it is.
That's something we can look at. Silver City would still be served. They would just be served from the Barris, through Mineola loop. But instead of bringing it down here to 34, we could take 5 miles of cable, because there's, 3 customers on that whole road? Possible customers?
Half a dozen at the most.
Maybe,
About 6, 7.
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
branch off
Got it.
right.
to the short areas, yeah.
So Western Iowa Network talked like they would still want to do that over a time just to have a dual feed, but if we can put 5 miles somewhere else, maybe a couple coming into Glenwood, a couple coming into Malvern that are mile runs, it would help the services in those towns better. So food for thought. I mean, nothing is decided, nothing will be decided until this board decides it, but we just, argument purposes,
Right.
discussion purposes,
Yeah,
so. But Silver City, I told them that Silver City is an area that we need to get fiber to the home to, and they agreed.
Well, and they're working on Lake Ohana area, right? They're doing that.
They would do Lake Ohana, but that's something else that we could do too. I mean, if we could help with the Ohana area, or
'Cause they're so close
you're
to
just throwing
Mineola.
that out, they could, if we could do that, then they could take their plan, because they plan on doing Ohana, and go somewhere else. But I don't know whether we want to do that or just let them do it. We'll run the trunk, let them,
Right.
serve them, and we'll run another trunk, coming in or out of a couple of towns. So food for thought. Nothing's decided.
But I was, I thought, okay, well, maybe we can get something started here, and I talked to Ken about these 2 people. I said, okay, I don't wanna be stepping on toes, stuff, so I give Ken a call and says, okay, these are the 2 people that I've been visited with, but I says, not making much progress with, and he says, well, that's good to know, cause he says, I'll contact them and see,
Yeah.
it's a bad situation, because whoever heard, what do you consider an emergency for broadband?
Right.
I mean, we have an emergency down here, that's what I told the gal on the phone. I says,
What about communication?
throwing up flags and stuff just doesn't work anymore.
It's
You
gonna
know.
be interesting because this emergency definition must be a commercial or government, but it's not public safety because.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that should be a big one.
FirstNet is building out now in the county. AT&T has that federal contract, and they're in Southwest Iowa. They are scheduled to be almost completed by late this fall. So that means AT&T service is really gonna pick up down here, because they'll sell the commercial version too. And AT&T's just not gonna build this government contract out and not sell to the private sector. But this FirstNet is a public safety, high speed, or emergency responders, and data, phone, other types of services, computer, iPads, you name it. And it also allows first responders to buy a personal phone through them at a great reduced rate if they're first responders. So this is coming, it just depends how much Southwest Iowa buys into it. But I don't, that's not one of those three categories, so I'm interested to know what those categories
Same
are.
here.
They're
Did
calling
you guys
That's
send
what
that
we
one
emergency purchases, I don't understand.
We're
Unless
not
it has
gonna-
to do with business.
Okay. Thank you.
Interesting.
Could it be business or banking or something?
Yeah, I thought, man, we got get something started here, but anyway, it didn't.
We'll keep kicking the can,
Well, yeah,
but we're gonna get there.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
Had a phone call with DHS, DOJ, GRC, Parent Family Group on Saturday. Not a lot has changed. DOJ is still sitting on their hands on the investigation. They haven't put out anything as far as, there's been quite some articles written about what took place at the center up here. The biggest push we have right now is trying to get everybody that is eligible to go to a waiver house or to leave the facility. They would like to keep pushing the numbers down. And that way, eventually, they will take some admissions on maybe a year basis where it's somebody that needs help to be admitted to the resource center. So
Well, we don't close it.
I'm looking at trying to keep it here as an employment, and I have some people, some parents that, well, so what if we got to get rid of it? Well, that's not the idea.
No, that's
The future of it, but we still have help coming in from Iowa University and different ones. We've got some new doctors hired. We're still having trouble hiring people. They're upping their ante as far as how much they're willing to pay, but when they can't hardly give the protection they need to the employees, and there's a big struggle over restraints. What do you consider restraints? What can you use? What can't be used? And it just gets really mind-boggling and ugly.
Richard, what scares me is if they ever accomplish what will become of the Hill.
Well, it would
That's what scares me.
we could eventually turn it into a very nice uh, rest home type deal where we've got houses with dementia and stuff like that we really need more of here in Southwest Iowa. Where you can.
Yeah, but what are you gonna
It-
do with all the people that can't leave? The ones
That's just it. There's roughly 200 people that are
They can't
just
make it.
there. They can't leave. They'll just pass away there because there's no facilities that will take them. There isn't a rest home around or a nursing facility or anything that wants to take the challenge it is for some of these clients.
So what's the count right now of the clients?
237, I think, where there used to be 600 to 900.
So the
So
37 basically are what they're looking to put in waiver homes?
they would like to, if parents, that's the biggest problem. A lot of the parents, the care and the love they've gotten here at the resource center, the parents just don't want to give it up, And right now it's tough getting in to see your child and stuff. You can see them on campus. Well, a lot of them want to go out, get something to eat or go do something. Well, they'd prefer that, well, they won't let you take them off campus. And, because then that requires a 14-day quarantine period, and a lot of them don't understand that. So anyway, we got another meeting on the 29th of August, and we'll see what happens from there. But hopefully, by then we'll have a new administrator up here. Maybe they're still working on that. So, and Kelly Garcia, the lady that's DHS, is now Department of Public Health administrator interim. So I don't know whether the governor's gonna put the two together. I don't know. That'd be a tough workload. I think.
I had a West Central meeting up in Harlan, and they too are going just like through the school. What are they gonna do with these little preschoolers? They've had to even cancel a few of the towns with some of this preschoolers, so it has just keep dwindling down of, and then the care of keeping the food banks open, and they're real worried. So, and the numbers grew this year, so now they gotta turn them around and get a whole different aspect of, maybe we can put them in different towns, or, but of course WIPCO picks them up, and so that's a different ballgame too. So another meeting next week and see where we can go from there. Scary. Alrighty.
You guys are up.
All right, I have a brief update for you. Yesterday, we had a press report that you probably saw. We have 4 additional positive cases as of yesterday. We are at a total of 68. We have 37 recovered. The positivity rate is just something I wanted to point out. It's at 2.7%, which is good. We like that to be below 3%.
That's percent of people tested.
That's percent of all people tested, how many were positive. So, and it was interesting yesterday that of the confirmed cases, you see that we had every age range. 4 cases in 4 different age ranges. So that was a press release yesterday. The other topic that we've had at our board meeting yesterday, and I've had with Larry, actually brought to our attention, is the Iowa State Patrol is involved in the ice cream cruise that will be happening this Saturday. The event starts in Nebraska and ends at the PJ drag track. It starts at 10 and runs until 8. They're expecting about 2,500 show cars to pass through the area. They are estimating it could be as many as 15,000 people could show up, according to the Iowa State Patrol. So it's going to be quite a mass gathering of individuals. My Board of Health chair asked that Public Health put out a press release, which I need to have Larry take a look at, and it's nothing new. It's that same information that we keep sharing. The first thing that we are saying, of course, is that we strongly recommend that you wear face coverings when you're in public around other people who don't live in your household, especially when you're likely to be elbow to elbow. And the CDC does state that those face masks work to protect the wearer. It doesn't eliminate the risk of disease transmission, but it lowers the likelihood. And so anything you can do to put yourself in better favor, we would advocate for. And then we're also just reminding Mills County residents that our numbers have doubled over the past 30 days, and we strongly discourage really large gatherings where you're going to have a high number of people together, because we do have community spread in Mills County as well as Iowa. If you do gather in large groups, again, we would just remind you to keep 6-foot distance wherever possible, wear your face covering, and then all those good infection control.
Aren't you surprised that passed, having that big?
That is going to be a big event.
I mean, that is
Where did you say it started?
unheard of.
I
We
have in Nebraska.
throw out
Do you
the
know
Iowa
exactly
State
where?
Fair, and
This event,
we can have that.
interesting,
It's,
right?
and it's basically a moving, flexible thing. Groups, cars will come and go, and they'll probably stage down to Motorplex, show and tell, drive on. So I think it's like a touring thing. The big thing is the the aggregation, the people that would be down at time to time will be in the thousands possibly. And again, it's dependent upon the weather. The State Patrol has solicited additional troopers to come on availability for duty, but those numbers aren't coming out high right now. So it could be have an impact on that intersection down there, big time, possibly with traffic. So there's been talk about possibly restricting traffic flow in certain choke points as they come into Iowa. I don't know if they've been talking about that or not, but it's just bad timing probably. But it's we knew some of the stuff was going to come. It just depends. And I don't know what they have planned down there at the track. to mitigate this. And so, we'll have to wait and
I've been in
see.
contact with Doug at the track. We're planning on having 5 PDMSs, portable device messaging systems, staged on I-29, Highway 34, and on 190th Street. I'm still working. Do you have a contact with state troopers that I could have? about running a,
Barsley was in yesterday. Trooper Barsley had talked to me, so.
What did they call this?
Putting,
Ice cream cruise.
putting a
Ice cream cruise.
officer at the intersection of 188 and Highway 34. Been talking with Sadler Electric, who operates and maintains our traffic control light there. Talked about some options for extending green lights, any directions, handheld control for the officer. So I also talked with a Waze operator who Waze is a GPS navigational system. So we're making sure that Google and Waze are sending traffic the direction we want them to on GPS.
My neighbor could be involved in this, and he's got a 57 Chevy. Now, he says, I don't know whether they're gonna go by years, makes, models, or if they're gonna categorize it into, motor size, things like this. But they'll be brought in, he says, we'll be brought in groups of maybe 25, 30 cars. We'll line up, people will look at us. We'll be moving on while the next group is coming in. So he says, it's a complete mobile situation, even though this is the last stop. He says, we have orders that we will move out. We'll not stick around.
Gonna have everybody's curiosity.
Well, if, he says if everybody would stick around, he says it'd get so congested you couldn't move, so.
So they're planning it to be that big.
Well, yeah.
We thought it might just be touring clubs, like there's Corvette clubs and stuff. And
Right.
if they're out for a tour, they would kind of stop by and then leave, but I think that'd be tough to manage. You almost have to have it, like Supervisor Crouch said, in groups of years or whatever to show up. But then that's gonna be a mess if they're coming from all over, unless they
Yeah.
are coming from a site and coming in and doing, just like a motorcycle type thing, where
Yeah.
they're making stops along the way.
So all you do is just look, I mean, you can't look at the motor, how.
Yeah, they'll
So
have
they
them
will
lined up.
stop and,
They'll have them lined up. I mean, if this group up here, it moves out, maybe the third group or fourth group coming in will take their place up here, and you'll be looking at these cars back here and stuff, so. He says, hopefully they got it well organized, because he says it really takes somebody to be stern and say, park it. And that's where you're gonna park it.
got it.
I'm not sure, but they have 3.7 thousand people marked as going on their Facebook account. Another 7,000 is interested, so. They
Probably
thought-
depend on the weather.
They
don't
thought
Could
5
be
to
quite a
10,000,
Yeah,
but
weather dependent.
They told me in general admission.
Oh, wait, they do have admission.
Yeah. And their gates are open 10 to.
Oh, there's some sales tax.
Start
Yeah,
open.
and there'll be races later that night.
10 to 2000.
Did you say it's Sunday?
Saturday.
Oh, Saturday. I was like, they don't race on Sunday, do they? Saturday. Have they
Yes,
been
they
racing?
do. Don't they race on Sunday?
They will sometimes.
Oh, no, I was thinking this was Sunday. not
Yeah, I think-
Saturday.
Most of you got a deal on, Crutchfield in the interior, US Interior, on what to do with they're polling all the supervisors in the United States, wanting our opinion on what to do with the statues they tore down.
Put them back up.
My opinion is take them back and put them back where they were.
That's right. That's history.
It's history.
Can you imagine
There's
the
been one,
expense on
there's
that
been
though,
one
Richard?
city in Kentucky that says, bring them on, we'll put them all up. And there's been other cities says, we don't want nothing to do with them. Well, I'm going,
Put them in Mills County then.
I mean,
Bring 'em here.
it's,
Can you imagine the expense though that we'll have to go
Yeah.
through? Pulling them out, cleaning them up.
Yeah.
Build that
why were they torn down in the
organization.
first place? Why were they allowed to be torn
That's
down?
exactly right. If they pay those people the money to riot, then bill them of what.
I like the ones
The
that got
destruction.
locked in jail on Sunday or Saturday night and
Oh, they didn't
couldn't-
like it. It was,
couldn't
it
get
was,
out, 'cause the
yeah.
computer, computer
Yeah.
had a glitch.
We were so tired, there was no room to sleep and couldn't eat, whatever.
No room to sit
Stay
on
out
the
of the road.
benches, and I thought, you know, that's just,
Don't go to jail.
don't go riot,
Yeah,
you know?
pretty simple.
And when you're asked to leave
Yeah,
peacefully.
go home. Last I know, when you broke the law, you go to jail. Sorry.
I want my steak.
Yeah.
Well,
I want my cable.
well, I think they do have cable there.
Yeah, they'll get you some TV in there.
Some cereal. Yeah. I don't know,
Well,
bacon's
thank you
pretty good.
guys. Anything else?
For me.
Just there's been a lot of talk, a lot of pressure, Governor, statewide mask mandate. You probably read about that. And there's you haven't heard anything at
No.
all. I don't know that she's gonna act on that. The additional guidance on schools that we're hearing rumors of, there might be some additional guidance coming out. I have no idea what that is, right?
No, and I talked to the state yesterday. We were expecting guidance last week, and then I talked to the state epidemiologist, the top supervising individual, and he was expecting guidance last week. So we're at a pause. We are expecting very specific guidance from the Iowa Department of Public Health in regards to COVID-19 and schools reopening. And that guidance is just shortcoming. We just got guidance on state fairs. Well, they're over. So, yeah,
Not yet, state fair, you mean county fair?
county fairs,
I was
sorry.
gonna say
County
states.
fairs. So we got guidance, but they're over.
They're over.
So
We're done.
we are, and the schools are pausing. They want those documents. And I've sent them, here's a basic guidance from local public health, but that state guidance will come and it will supersede what I'm sending you. So we're at a pause. We're waiting. It was expected last week. I don't know when it's coming out.
As far as services, like in Mills here, I haven't seen, unless the auditor has, too much harsh feedback on people coming in, access to courthouse and our county services. We've had a few people not wear masks, and we may have to see what we can do with the departments with the boxes of masks that I gave them to use in emergencies, that we can't encourage people to wear one, because that's what the signing says. So I saw one today that didn't have one on, so I'm not sure. It's tough. You have to have a good bedside manner to say, we would
Didn't they have
appreciate
a
if you
guy
wear a
being
mask.
kind of a jerk last week?
There was a couple people, so I think we're gonna have a few. We'll just play it by ear on
Gonna
that.
happen.
And he refused.
But we're lucky because counties such as Sarpy, 3 to 4 hours wait time to get into some of the county offices we've read about. Testing lines are another thing that surprised me, that there is some lines at the testing, which is frustrating people, which I was a little surprised, especially the one at Council Bluffs, one of the two at Council Bluffs. So I just didn't.
Notice I think we're gonna have to do something when they have a line, it goes clear down the steps. Well, I mean, people are wearing masks, I guess is that, they're not 6 feet apart, but they're all
Well,
wearing
then they
masks.
should
Is
have
that,
the mask on, right?
yeah, but is that gonna do it? Because they're like,
I think you just make every effort to have 6
Do the
feet, but
best
if
you
you
can.
don't, then you have a mask.
You do
You're
the
doing
best
all
you
you
can.
can do.
But the thing is, we need to figure out a very gentle way to approach people if they're coming to your department, to offer them those masks that I left with each department, to please, we have a signage requirement of mask in this building. It's no different than going into some of the chain stores right now. They
they're
want you to have
lined
a
up
mask on.
clear down, and then they go down the steps, yeah,
Then they go across the
Waiting
door and then they go back up the steps.
waiting to get into.
All right, so that's just kind of, we'll keep an eye on that. The PSAP is still locked down, except for IT and technicians coming and work on radio gear. I may have to split the center up. We were early on having dispatchers, keeping our higher risk dispatchers in the center and sending the other, when we had 2 on a shift, down to the PD door. And when we take a call here, we push the operational call to the PD, so it'd be a managed call. So I've got to talk to Susan about that, about whether we need to go back and split up again because of this risk. I can't afford to lose any staff.
Has Motorola been,
Yeah, they're,
okay,
they come and go, and normally they're masked up when they come in, so they're doing everything they can. We're waiting now for some radios to come in to beef up our radio piece. And the paging got optimized last week for the VHF, and it's working. It's just that we bought some software in our Avtech radio to take that VHF signal and split it so it can be monitored on 700, which first responders wanted. That won't happen until we get these other backroom radios, assets in the back built in, which will give us not only that, able to activate that, but they'll also give us the emergency button down. We'll be able to monitor that because the consolettes that we had in the back, we want us to monitor that because we have a Motorola solution to here. We have an AdTech solution to here. And then AdTech wouldn't allow you to get that emergency button, use that emergency button, which we kind of want to use especially for law enforcement. So that would give us that. And then we have a patching issue, which the state wants us to do for pursuits and stuff, that the consulates, they can't figure out why we can't patch. Page County allegedly can patch, but we can't, so they're trying to figure that out. The radio piece, when you put these additional 8 assets in the back, will fix that problem too. So they're trying to expedite to get that.
Like you say, Page County is rolling and we can't see
Well, no,
it.
Page has got their problems, trust me. They don't patch hardly at all down there because they don't have the numbers of pursuits we have. You know, we're along the corridor here and we're sub area of the metropolitan area, so our numbers are really high than theirs. And in fact, what the intel I got last week was they not very often do it, but which has me question, can they do it? And so it's a functionality of taking a common talk group and patching it into one of the state talk groups. Because the troopers, if they're playing with the state troopers, you want that interoperability, to be able to talk across those lines. So the state put a policy out, this is a requirement that we need to patch in so that their people can talk to our people and vice versa. So that's one of the things we want to finish up to make it, you know, more doable. Right now, I'm having Montgomery County, if we need to do that, they're patching in, or we have the law enforcement going directly to that talk group on the radio versus patching them in. So that's kind of what's going on right now, but we're very close.
Good. But sure it's taken a lot of time, hasn't it?
It's been pretty good.
I bet it has. Thank you, guys.
Yep, thank you.
Hang in there, Julie.
Yep.
You got you too.
Thank you.
Thanks, Julie. Larry?
You're up, Corey.
Ames Construction is not gonna make it today. Didn't get word from them until Saturday, so it's gonna, well, guess I could have sent Jackie an update, but they're not gonna be, they'll let me know when they're ready to come in, and so I expect to see them sooner than later, but, yeah. Utility permit report, we do have one utility permit. It's for Mid-American. They are putting in a transmission line from their Overland Trail substation to their Bungie substation, so they'll come down Wabash or 221st Street from Pont County onto Bungie and into their Bungie substation. They're just south of the county line. Brings up our first formal action, driveway variance application at 52511 229th Street. Sam Wolf. I'll read off his reason for request.
What does he want?
That's Lake Ohana right there.
Oh,
So he has a driveway right here coming into his house. He wants a secondary driveway right here coming into a shed or garage building. For the ordinance, one driveway per lot.
This is a minimum. It does not say only one. It says we must provide one driveway per parcel. It doesn't say you could only have one
but he
driveway per
doesn't want
parcel.
just one.
He wants two
He-
driveways.
And he can't
Can he,
connect from the inside to the,
Yeah.
I'll just read off his requests. I respectfully ask for approval to build a driveway for my detached garage. I would like to keep green space between
and also a way for water to run off. This requires my proposed driveway to go straight to street and not be connected. I have gotten signed approval from developer Craig Nakamoto on my plans. Thank you for your consideration.
And it doesn't adhere to the 800 feet from one driveway to the other, right?
Correct, it doesn't have the separation.
Yeah, separation.
Where he's putting this at, can he move it any further, I would say around the corner, so there's, what's the side distance like? I mean,
Uh,
what is
If
that,
he
a
could-
25 mile an hour or 35?
that is 25. We just changed it to 25.
Okay. And it really shouldn't make a whole lot of difference where the driveway is because of the speed,
Yeah, I don't think that would be an issue, Richard.
okay, all right.
Good sight. I mean, as far
Yeah,
as
that's what I was looking
It'd
at, being these right in the
right around the,
pivot of the corner. You know,
Currently, it's good sight, but there's no house to the south of them, building to the south of them.
okay.
We've read that once before, Corey. Where is that?
I thought it was in the subdivision. About driveways in a subdivision
Oh.
per lot. I'd have to look it up again. We could do a quick search.
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
Major subdivision entrance was proposed. One entrance to each lot.
Will be guaranteed at least one entrance. Doesn't say only one.
For major subdivision roads, will be relaxed to permit one entrance to each
Right.
lot. So, since it's a second entrance, separation goes into effect.
So separation's really our only problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
and he could probably get to 300 feet, couldn't he? If we pushed him around the corner, but, being the speed limit's only 25,
Yeah, I mean, if it was on 275, I
yeah,
could
then I'd
see-
have a problem.
Right, right. But I mean, this is a 25 mile an hour subdivision. What he wants to do is probably put he said for an,
Here it is. Each lot in a major subdivision shall not have more than one drive.
why?
Oh, man, that's been a long time ago, Lonnie.
Yeah, that's a admire cone thing. Look at, let me just,
You did grant it to.
oh yeah, we've granted a few. Yeah,
I'm
One of those two.
I'm
Yeah.
all right with the language. I think it should be that they should come in and ask. I don't think it should be allowed. They can just keep putting in driveways. That's my only
Sure.
opinion, you know.
My input is that anytime we add an entrance or an access onto a roadway, it makes it less safe in general, but.
out there, it's not gonna hurt a
Yeah,
damn thing.
that
No.
I don't
Exactly.
mind
You're
in
in
the
a-
housing development.
The 25 mile an hour.
Let's just
speed
go with
limit.
my house here. I mean, I wouldn't have done my garage if I would have had to have come in here and drive through my yard to get to my garage. I wouldn't have done it. So,
But you're on a
Private
a
road.
dead end street where you don't have a lot of high speed traffic either.
yeah, neither does this,
Right,
right? I
that's
mean,
what
if it
I'm
was
saying, but-
275,
But if you put it on 221st Street where they wanna,
yeah,
they got a nice entrance and they wanna put one for a shed. You know, yeah, we're down to 45 mile an hour, but let me tell you, I was up there the other day and if you travel 45, people get really pissy at you.
yeah.
You just did something wrong.
Okay.
Well, I have no
I
problem.
don't really have a.
Site is good, 25 miles an hour, so I'm good with that.
Is that your motion?
That's my motion.
I'll second it.
We've got a motion and a second to approve the driveway variance application at 52511 229th. Is there any discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Guy that called me one night and says, I wanna go coyote hunting on your wheat ground. I have no idea. He got on the beacon's light and saw that I had a patch of wheat and had been harvested. And this is a Saturday night when it's 90 degrees at 9 o'clock. I said, you want to go yeah, he said, I'm gonna go lay out there in my white uniform, and I thought, have at it, guy, just,
Shoot 'em.
God. I don't know if he got any or not, but I'm sweating just talking to him, and jeez.
There's that guy on here. People need to start hunting them again. Those are coons.
Okay.
Okay, what are you
next item.
paying Genesis?
How much?
$427,120.
No sense.
No cents.
Boy,
Wow.
wait till next time, it'd be 99.
We are paying a lot of roofing, framing and drywall, and
Drywall, and you're getting down to the nitty-gritty.
utilities. We got plumbing, HVAC, electrical. Yep. If you've driven by, we got some windows in.
That's good.
I mean, it's
I haven't drove
mainly
by it.
interior.
I gotta drive by it. Looks,
They're looking at starting to pour. We're still the first time that we've kind of gone into some delays. The pouring of the shop floor has taken a little longer than expected. That has the end floor heating, and so I imagine that's a lot of the slowdown.
It is.
That's also kind of holding up our bridge crane manufacturing, because they're doing that off of field measurements, and they can't do the field measurements until the floor's in. So that's not a big concern.
Yeah, you'll be okay.
We haven't had any hard deadlines on this, at least not to my knowledge. That Public Health's lease is up in October, November, something like that.
We're all right.
So
We checked that out, we're okay.
so the shop floor pour, hopefully this week, or hopefully it's this week, and then they're looking at pouring site paving, so parking lot and driveway, starting
Which is
August 10th,
cooking good, I
and
think.
all the indoor stuff finishing. So they're still moving along, maybe a little bit slower on the shop floor. So looking for approval for the application 9.
I make a motion to approve the Pay and Genesis contracting, $427,120.
427,000.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Oh, I thought you said 127.
I'll second.
My brother was 100. We've got a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion on that? What's that put us to? Are we 50% yet? 60%?
We're past
70%?
50%. We'll have paid up to, let's see, not including retainage, 3,103,000, and that would leave us 1,700,000 left, including retainage.
Downhill slope.
Yep.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Oh, I did,
You started those,
This is one of those I sign
garage
anywhere, isn't
sales
it?
and, food sales yet to
We
build some extra fundings?
Candy bars.
I don't know how to find it. We do have our pieces of equipment on auction time. I'm not trying to find it. The crane, 2 scrapers are our big items, and then a snowblower, welder, an old concrete saw. A
Did you
couple
do that
other
yourself? Mark it
miscellaneous.
himself, or?
We're going through Hughes
Oh, is he?
on option time.
I wasn't sure what
Oh.
site he
So-
used.
So yeah,
Good for you, local.
and we've already gotten some bids on the scrapers and the crane and even on the snow blower. So, and I think they close tomorrow or Thursday. I'm not real sure. So,
I'll bid on him.
I did get a hold of Joni Ernst's office. A guy contacted me, Michael Farr from her office contacted me, and we gathered up Corey's papers and things and got them sent off to him and Donna Barry both on a FEMA.
Thank you.
Hopefully we can hear
Thank you,
something.
County Auditor, doing that for us. Thank you, Carol, for getting those addresses and emailing, but yes.
But, you know, at least we're moving forward. Maybe this is, get some pressure and see if it helps us. Maybe we can help PJ and Fremont County. The Fremont County, we're all in the same boat. This is not just something with Mills County. So that was one thing I stressed to the lady that called me from, well, Josie called me from Joni's office. She said, well, what is the problem? I said, they're not paying. I said, why do we have to reinvent the wheel every time someone comes around? She said,
Every
very
time.
good point. So,
Again and again.
Yeah.
I've talked to FEMA daily for the last week, and Iowa Homeland Security, and I'm repeating myself constantly.
You just need to tape it and just
and-
replay it.
And a lot of times when they ask for documents, I say, well, if you look in the project folder, it's already in there. And I'm trying not to lose my patience with them, but it's just, I feel like they don't read and they don't look through the documents
Yeah,
that we've
they-
submitted
Is
already.
it a different person every time you talk to? Corey?
No,
Okay, all
but
right.
it's a different person than I originally talked to, and it's a different person than I talked to a couple months ago. And so,
See, so then he starts all over again.
and that's
Yeah.
what it is. And
And they don't even know what we went through.
And I thought I've laid it out very, very clear, very simple for him. It just, we,
huh?
it's on to the CRC for, project development and obligation. But this is as far as I've gone the last 2 times, and so. They just keep asking questions and I've now provided every pay, distribution for the construction project.
These are addictive.
For
These
whatever
are
reason.
stale, let me tell you, they don't.
Yeah.
And so, I've also turned in the appeal for the Yankee Bridge, flood damage. We received the determination memo on June 16th, so.
Are they gonna buy it?
I feel very confident about the appeal. I think we laid it out pretty well that, the damage, was caused by the flood, and to repair the bridge to pre-existing flood conditions. It was, just the floor beam that was damaged, and we're not gonna request 2 items that appeared in the 2017 bridge inspection report.
I'm surprised Heath Fitton hasn't come in and bought the.
7,600, that's too expensive for him. He can make one for that.
Yes, that's gone up.
Yeah.
Matt Mark told me it was about 60, somewhere at 6,000.
What else we got there?
2 scrapers.
I haven't seen any scrapers yet.
From the 70, 80s range, 70. Is that our snow blower?
One would,
Yes, that is.
why would you be selling that gem? You don't want to eat through drifts?
We've used it once in 10 years, they told me, and it didn't work very well because you need to have 3
That much
feet
snow.
worth of snow to get it to actually work, or else you're just kind of pushing it right in front of you. Yeah.
1980, wow, that was a vintage year.
Boy, they're sure having a heyday out there.
800?
There goes the new fire truck.
Turn the scanner on.
Dixie Chapter.
Is that yours?
No, but
Oh.
I ran one quite a bit growing up. Dad's lawn business.
Ah.
They go
Wow,
pretty
there's
dang
Quite
fast.
a bit on his auction block, isn't it?
Well, this isn't Al. This is auction time.
Oh,
So this is in Denison.
oh.
Yeah, this is a national
Yeah.
auction.
There you go. There's a.
Ford
Whoa.
Elite.
Wow, 37,500.
That's in Glenwood.
$200. There you
I
go.
might own that.
A 76.
It is a parts
Kids would
car.
love me for
You
that.
see that part?
Parts
It's a
car?
parts car. I don't think you wanna own that.
Oh, Mitch will get it running.
And we'll need hauled. Here you go,
Ooh,
Mitch.
there's a scraper.
Yep.
4,400.
Good bad.
That's
What are
about.
they doing?
We were hoping to get it above 5,000. What's the other one at? 3,600. I don't know how they're going to be different. I mean, it's
Oh, you're
So what's
Very
that mean?
similar.
42
Very
people are
similar.
bidding
Well,
on
this
it,
one's got 19
Corey?
bids and this one's only got
number of
42
bids.
pictures.
19 bids.
Yeah,
This
five.
one's had 5 bids.
I really expect
Oh,
these to
okay.
go up a lot quicker in about
Yeah, one day,
18
2
hours. Yeah. About 20 hours I expect it to. Well, I guess maybe that'd be too early in the morning.
But it's
24
that
hours.
last hour that makes it fun,
Mhm.
because that's when things really start going.
If we're above 5,000, the commission drops down to 8%. 9% from like 5,000 to 3,500. 10% from like 35 to 2,000.
I'm gonna bring the biggest bag. I've got to go to Sam's Thursday, so paybacks are a bitch.
Other general discussion items, kind of already talked about FEMA stuff. Kind of already talked about the racetrack event. We got notification about it, and we know where our problem spot's going to be, 188th and Highway 34. So trying to get either an off-duty officer or deputy, somebody down there at the intersection. Probably more so after the event's done, I think, than before. We're going to change up the traffic timing on the intersection light for stop time, so we can keep it green, more direction. Or like when they come in, we expect a lot of people coming from the interstate, so we'll extend the left-hand turn lane or left-hand turn signal longer, and we'll just do some slight modifications and see how it goes, and we'll have the ability to do handheld control if we need it.
Well, and to add to it, it's supposed to be a really nice weekend, so might be
And-
that big crowd.
And what the racetrack owner told me is a lot of these shows have been canceled and closed, postponed all throughout the nation, so he's expecting people coming in from all over. He said he had a guy coming in from New Zealand bringing 2 cars.
Wow.
From where?
New Zealand.
It's a
So,
long drive.
Yeah.
yeah.
For an ice cream cone? Yeah.
I don't know that you're getting ice cream at the end.
Well, that's what they said.
Are you sure?
Well, they
That's
said
why it's
vodka
called
and
an
ice cream.
Well, it's like if you were going out for ice cream back in the day, you drive one of these cars.
Oh,
Back in the day.
you don't think they're gonna give out free ice cream?
I don't think so, but if you're going for that, it could be, yeah. Sure.
Two more things. We started our FM rocking
15 grand.
yesterday, this week.
Okay.
And as you know, this is from 2019, and couldn't get the rock down in 2019 because of flooding. Couldn't do it in the spring because there was no rock over to place. So we kind of picked this date here at the end of July, early August, because we know with our dust control applications, they come in end of the spring, put down an application, and they come in early August, put down the second application. So we thought, we know we're gonna get some complaints, since we're rocking through some people's dust control. But we maintain the right to maintain the road, and it says that on everybody's, dust control contract. But this way, we thought we could minimize people losing their dust control if we can get it down end of July, and then hopefully early August, the two dust control,
Reapply.
uh, applicators come in and
Mine
put it
should
in.
be
you know.
coming next week, the second time.
So we should get most of the FM rock done this week. If it stretches into next week, it'll only be a day or two. And we start on Eastman, and we heard some complaints. But for as many complaints as we get on Eastman, every time I go out there, I'm expecting to see something really bad, and every time I think it's a nice looking road, for the vertical and horizontal curves that we have, steep grades, high tree cover.
You look
I'm
at it like
pretty-
an engineer.
I'm pretty happy with how we maintain that roadway from winter maintenance, summer snow removal to this rock application.
So what are
Is
they
that the
saying?
Eastman one that I
It's-
sent to you?
it's Not enough gravel or too bumpy?
So
or
when
Wrong.
we come
it's
out,
just wrong.
there's a process to it. You can't just throw the rock down being perfectly placed. It comes in a big truck, we put in a pile, we follow it up with a blade, he windrows some of it to the side, and we'll leave a windrow in there until we have the entire stretch rocked, and then he'll come back and he'll blade it in. You make 2 or maybe even 3 passes feathering it in, and we'll leave a windrow on one of the sides. If there is too much rock, just do spread out here after it kind of settles down a little
Right.
bit.
Work it
It's
back in.
kind of like got that marble feeling if it's too much rock, and if it's not, especially if it's not well distributed. And then we'll be back in a couple of days, and we'll reblade it, and it'll be
Nice thing
Good
is you can get about a
shape.
2-inch rain on it.
that
Yes.
would
It
help.
really helps settle it. Forces all the
It sure does.
But
goo out of it.
I mean, I took calls, people saying, "Well, why can't you just do a little bit of a time and save the money?" I said, "Well, we're actually saving money by doing the whole stretch." Or I had people, "Why do you leave a windrow?" Well, it's just so we don't have the whole marbly. You're not going to be sliding everywhere. There's a 28. It's about Eastman's pretty wide for our gravel roads. I mean, we have a 28-foot top, most of it, which
Yeah.
is more than enough for 2 vehicles. Save 2 feet from driving on
No, there
that
isn't.
windrow. And so
My road out there, I got 3 people, their part is in the middle. And they will not give it up. I'm serious. They meet you on the flat,
We
they're in the
say-
center of the road and you get over.
Cause they pay more taxes than you.
Right. And their car is prettier than mine. That's what I
I
say.
mean,
So do they complain washboarding or
the complaint was the windrow,
the
which
windrow? Wow.
there was a large windrow in the middle of the road because we just dumped rock. I mean, we're in the middle of placing it,
Oh,
but
people.
it's not going to be.
They cut you midstream, mid-process.
Exactly. They caught us in the middle of it, and so I went out there because we had a couple complaints, and I was very happy with how we were doing, and I told them not to change anything. So, and I drove it then in the evening or in the afternoon, and yeah, we had a windrow on the very edge, but otherwise I thought it was a very nice looking newly rocked gravel road. So
They got a 100-pack of this stuff at Sam's. I gotta go there Thursday. You're gonna end up with a.
we'll probably continue to have complaints, and I think the legitimate ones,
BP doesn't have anything left.
You
Are
got
the-
a camera on your house?
the legitimate ones are the dust control people, but
They might drop a box
and I
top.
understand that complaint, but we try to do our best to minimize.
July and August is so hard. It's dry, it's dusty, and you add the.
Well, you do it just before school starts.
Yes.
Because the next thing they're gonna do, they're gonna stick that blade out about 2 foot on each side, and they're gonna bring this big pile of weedy grass, and they're gonna put it right in the middle of the road, or they'll put it on the side where you have to get over with your combine, and
crawling over all these humps, you know, and
So we could use that rock reclaimer attachment for the
There you
blade.
go.
Couple months.
is that power driven?
It's a it's
Got
just
a
sits
hydraulic
on
motor on it or not?
no, it's just the
It's
disc.
just ground
but-
driven?
But it's hydraulic, it can be lifted.
Right, but I mean, it's not driven with hydraulic or,
PTO, isn't it?
No, it's not, it's just the disc, like a
and the
Like a
angle you set it, the
disc on the
more
farm.
aggressive you can be with it, so.
The only other thing I had, was we need to make our plant selection for the rain garden.
Oh,
They're, our, new shop facility,
We should have had Kara,
so,
one of us wanna get a hold of her.
I look over. That'd be
I have, we talked briefly at one point, and I thought I wrote down some of the favorites. There we go.
What are they?
Indian blanket.
Plant?
Yeah,
It's like yeah,
that was one they.
it's pretty.
Prairie blazing star. Plant.
Okay.
Lead plant. LEAD. And rattlesnake master. Those were some of the favorites from Kara and Lance and Hannah with
Golden Hills.
yes.
Rattlesnake master, lead plant, prairie blazing star. I see you go all four. Mix it up. Run with scissors.
But yeah,
Rattlesnake didn't
I'll
have a
need
lot
to
of
get
color,
hold
did it?
of Kara, kind of, how many of each one do we need? Do we need any other kind of ones? A little more information, but I figured Carol,
We're picking flowers.
you'd be the one that,
Oh, pretty one. Ooh,
There's prettier ones yet.
Ooh, I like those. Aren't those pretty?
Yes,
That's
go
the
for
Indian
these.
blanket.
these are my favorite things.
And the prairie blazer and the lead plant. Yeah, the
I'm
What are these
surprised
for?
she didn't,
hummingbirds
for the
and the
retention
butterflies.
cell on our
Love
rain
those.
garden.
they,
I could mix
any
a
kind of
purple
grasses,
with
that's what
the
I was-
orange and yellow stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're-
put them
This
out.
one didn't have a lot of color to it.
this one really doesn't have
We don't wanna,
plants
we don't wanna
listed very
encourage any rattlesnakes.
Yeah, I don't want rattlesnakes anymore.
That looks too much like a thistle, a long thistle.
They're
It
beautiful.
does look like a thistle, but
Oh my gosh, and the butterflies just love them.
Well,
there's a lot
the
of
butterflies
butterflies out
better
there.
stop flying around in the highway because
They're-
they're
Isn't
gonna
that
be,
nuts?
they're going to be,
If you wanna see
extinct.
butterflies, travel Keys Avenue or the Hillsdale Road.
They're pretty
Solid.
thick right now.
Oh, my God.
And why is that?
they're
I don't know.
migrating.
They,
They're-
no, these are those, they're not migrating yet, it's too early. These that look like the monarch, but they aren't.
Yeah.
Oh, they got a different name. But my God, they're so thick on that road, and jeez.
That one.
It's not the monarch.
No.
Native Iowa butterfly, monarchs and other brush-footed. I bet it's a brush-footed one.
So it is a type of a monarch, huh?
From the family. You know, a lot of descendants from the monarch.
Let me tell you,
I like what they're finding in the rock. You know, there's just size of this pad that'd be in a one spot,
Painted lady.
you know, right in the rock.
I've never seen
It
one of
is.
them. Seen a lot of dead, those in the middle of the road though.
I got a lot of them in my radiator.
yeah, they're heavy right now.
they are.
Yeah, they're pretty thick.
It's The
They're making
Iowa
their own
butterfly.
extinction.
Pollinators.
Well, how smart they are.
Well, that's all I
They would
have.
be happy.
You guys. Oh, I'll be in contact with you about any other plant selection.
That's good,
You guys are okay with that?
that's good.
Okay.
Thank you guys.
So about 2,800 were requested.
Thanks,
Thank you.
A
Lori.
little over 2,400 came back. 34 were called that didn't fix them, and about 100, we called about 100 to fix theirs
Okay.
that did fix.
Well, I know what he's looking for.
Oh, I know what they're doing.
You know what the state guy's getting ready to do? You're gonna send them all back out again.
I know,
Yeah.
which is fine. I just think it's stupid when the counties are doing it as well. I don't get that. I mean, it's gonna, well, our postage is gonna go up again, and that's fine. And the political parties are probably gonna send theirs out as well.
Absentees.
But I need I talked to Ryan Sell the other day, but I need to make another phone call to either him, I've gotta kind of get an idea. We're looking at a large area to do the, general. And so I happened to notice that John Deere moved out of the plaza down at the Shopco.
Oh, they moved out?
Yep.
Yeah, pretty much everything, but they're still, and what Ryan said, they're still paying on it. So he was gonna check with them and then, maybe let me know. He goes, maybe if I wanted to pay their lease payment for a month, and I was like, I only want it for 24 hours. Maybe I can work out a deal with the John Deere guys, depending on, how much stuff in there, but I mean, so we could, instead of using the high school, obviously that's a school day, we would put Glenwood 1, 2, 3, Township, and probably PJ, and.
Carol, that's a
Lima.
great idea.
What's a nice place to go?
Nice big place,
'Cause I'm-
easy access,
Good parking. Yeah.
good parking, that's a great idea.
If we can get it, I don't know. I mean, we were racking our brains trying to come up with something. The only other place we thought of was, Kaufman Hall, but they're using that partially for storage right now. So that's not gonna work, and because of the preschool, that was another no.
Oh, sure.
I mean, finding a place big, because Legion isn't big enough for all of it. I mean, and we could, maybe split some and do some at the Legion. I'm just trying to consolidate for the number of people I'll probably have working, because I do see the absentee list going again. We're going to be a little more prepared for that this time. We thought we were last time, but we weren't. So, I'll probably have to hop another helper in, but we'll save money on our actual elections people with, because I figured it as having 11, precincts open, but I want to go less who?
It was Richard's NACO meeting.
Yeah. Yeah. How to get out of all that? There's
Close
probably a
some
lot
of
of
them.
stuff on there that's probably something too. So Corey's, they're working for the rain garden, is that the Golden Hills thing?
Flowers. Yeah.
Yes. And with Kara.
I thought he was getting kinda close to that.
And then in another month, there'll be time to plant some of that,
Yeah.
get it in.
I saw the, not in subject, but I saw the high school's, new schedule for football. I can't believe we're playing trainer. That's a first. That's cool though.
Wish it would have been last year.
Yeah, I see I see they're playing, Bliss Central for homecoming, if that's what it is. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's
We
scary.
canceled our class
Everybody's canceling. I'm
till
gonna
next
guess.
year.
See, this is what
Well,
I'm
that's gonna
worried
be
about. What
crowded.
happens if everybody cancels this year? Is that the end of it? Is that gonna start at the end? They'll say, hey,
Probably.
well,
Because there's those people that didn't understand this.
don't want to. I mean, will they cancel the parade? Will they cancel, I don't know.
Okay, FMLA.
Yes.
Hello, Sheriff. Yes.
I'd make a motion to approve.
I seconded.
We've got a motion and a second to approve the FMLA paperwork. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Hi.
Aye. Sheriff Goose, right on time.
Oh, he's resigning. Poor kid. He's got
Oh, he's got
some.
terrible health issues.
Yeah.
We saw him yesterday. I bet he
Yuck.
doesn't weigh
Yeah.
80 pounds.
And I mean, he's done great. He's great. Real good deputy.
Yeah.
Coming up, but he just can't perform duties anymore.
It was funny, he came in yesterday and he had a hat on and his glasses on and then a mask and I was like, and very quietly, I was like, I wanted to say, are you here for your unit test?
How old is he?
23.
Yeah. He just turned 23.
Young one.
So I got that, and then permission to replace him. I'll have to advertise for that because I got nothing. It's hard to find anybody at the moment.
Hard to find any help.
I make a motion to accept the resignation of the deputy and approve for a hire.
Second.
That's sad.
We've got a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? How about it, buddy?
Thank you much.
Do your day.
Oh yeah.
Are you
What's
gonna
going on
go
in West
down
Florence?
Yeah, is there some
I had my scanner
excitement?
going, but
I got caught on the tail end of it, and the radio scanning. If the state patrol's talking, I can't hear anything else. So basically, don't work. I'll talk to you all later.
see ya.
Want me to go get Jill?
Why not?
Sure, because what's his name's not coming till 10, so.
Joey Norris, never heard of it.
Yeah. He's the one that's running against Costello.
Is he?
Yes, he's the Democrat.
So he's a Democrat.
Yeah.
They won't hear it till next week.
I
Oh, and we
broke
will
down
not be
and
doing the ATC thing, it's tabled, Tyler doesn't quite have the contract. He's waiting for some information back, and they haven't sent it to him yet.
Damn it, Richard. You're getting a case of these.
Well, I knew Carol was out.
Carol comes in and sneaks when everybody's gone, it's like, okay, we need some.
Carol's out of
They've
what?
been buying that hot fire stuff in my office.
I said
Like,
Carol-
I can't drink that.
said Carol was out of-
Because Carol always comes in and sneaks some of
I
Richard's.
gotta go buy,
Now that she knows where they're at, where they hide them.
I had to go buy 80 hamburgers and cook them Friday, so
Oh my gosh, what did you cook them for?
graduation. Rehearsal is Friday, practice, whatever you wanna call it.
When are they having it?
Friday is the practice, Saturday is the graduation.
Oh.
And they always have that senior,
It's,
for this
Oh.
Friday?
mhm.
And then Saturday is graduation? Oh.
So Friday, I'm gonna cook 80 hamburgers, and
Is this the one like when they have the senior day? Is that
Yeah,
like what that is?
yeah.
Morning, Jill.
Good morning.
Whoops, thank you very much.
You're so welcome. More papers.
These obviously were not the.
Yes, we have a property that is in Hastings, Iowa that has been on the tax rolls for quite some time now. I think I think this is another 2010 one.
What's your address?
201 Silver.
Ooh, that's a pretty one.
That is pretty.
Okay.
Wow, that's a pretty big lot.
Well, that's what this gal wants to do. She has worked with the city of Hastings, and it had over almost $5,800 in $5,981.70 in special assessments. The city of Hastings shot her a deal. They would forgive all of it but $1,500, but she has to have it cleaned up by October 31st. She has to have the trailer gone, all of those trees that were around it, and then she has agreed to pay me the tax sale, the $15.69 for the county held tax sale. Also $203 for current taxes, which are really now delinquent because of COVID and all this stuff. But so she has agreed to pay us that. I will abate $3,999 in penalty and taxes. We have this on the back of that one sheet is the letter from Hastings stating out that Mills County is not responsible for any of this and that we can remove all these special assessments. And then they'll take in the $1,500 directly from her. Tyler and I talked about this and felt this was probably the cleanest way to do it. Just get Mills County completely out of it. She works with Hastings on it, and she pays them direct, and we're completely out of it. But also in my, I have an agreement for the assignment of the tax sale that she will sign, and I have on there, she's agreeing to pay $15.69 for the tax sale, $10 for assignment fee, $20 for certificate fee, and then the $203 that is due now, plus what taxes are going to come due in September. And then I've also put in our agreement that she agrees to have the mobile home weeds, overgrown trees, and bushes removed by October 31st of 2020.
Why October?
That's what the city gave her. And so I thought, if that's what the city's giving her, that's what I'll give her too.
Piggyback on it.
Rather than me saying,
She's
okay,
good
I'll
with
give you.
that.
Yes,
She's gonna be busy.
yes. Because the city of Hastings, the city clerk told me she's already asking for an extension because that's not much time. And it really isn't, but. And I'm-
really isn't. Somebody to do it.
Yeah. Exactly. Although, that trailer on Sapp Brothers was falling down, and I think in a couple of days, all they have left, that one right by us, all they have left is just a pile of metal and stuff to haul off now. If you get the right kind of people in there, it looks like it goes pretty quickly, so.
Good.
So I have Resolution 2027, which talks about abating all the taxes and removing the special assessment. And then I also have an agreement for assignment that she is going to take over the Mills County tax sale on.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2027.
And I second it.
We've got a motion and a second to approve resolution 2027, the abatement of taxes and penalties for 201 Silver Street in Hastings. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Crouch.
Yes.
Benton. Yes. Mayberry.
Yes. Right. Motion is carried. You're good.
And then I have the assignment underneath here for you to sign as well, that we agreed to reassign the county held to her.
But she doesn't live next door.
No, she lives like across the street or, because so I don't know if it's something that she's trying to maybe fix up for
Sign those, probably better add test it.
a kid, or I don't know. Or maybe she wants to have a big garden, you know? She didn't say why she was interested in it, just that she was interested in it. And the last time I was in, you guys had asked me about how taxes were going. I sent out past dues. Since there was no tax sale, I sent out past dues the first week of July. And we roughly were not quite at 500,000 that was due. And we've gotten in over about 230,000 now.
And why did you send them out?
Because I'm a mean person.
Just a reminder.
It was a reminder to tell them if they hadn't paid by July 27th, they wouldn't pay penalty. And we had people coming in they didn't hear the new proclamation that extended it till the 31st. And I had them in about 5 till 4 yesterday paying. They didn't want to give it to me any quicker.
sooner.
Nope, they don't. So yeah,
I had one person to give me an earful.
about me sending out past due notices.
Well, just why would she want to collect taxes? Why should we pay taxes on property we haven't been able to use for 16 months?
I get that a lot.
Well, hey, at least they're
You
not
think?
paying a penalty. That's,
Well,
that's
just-
huge. Normally they wouldn't. It could go to tax
Smile
sale
and say,
normally.
you know, you lived in this where you're in arrears, and what you're paying now is July through
What you would
June of
be
19. and-
paying anyway, and
Yes.
I
yes.
can't help it that Mother Nature took it down the tube, and
Mhm. I've had a lot of people come in and say, this is the last one. enjoyed my money because this is the last time I'm ever going to pay you for this property. And
Actually.
I just smile and say,
Thank you.
yeah, thank you.
They might
Because I
think
did
so,
do,
it's hard telling what Uncle
But
Sam does.
Well, I did talk to Homeland Security about that portion of it too, as far as any of the taxes that are not paid in the closing. See, that's the one thing I don't know. Are they paying for the whole, I would almost think they have to pay for the whole year.
Yeah.
You have to bring
Yes.
it up when you
For the
transfer.
closing,
Yes.
it's in the closing costs, so that's gonna come out of the money that they're going to get as well.
Oh,
Mhm.
that's
Oh, yeah.
That's
right.
Well, I thought it was maybe coming from another pocket of monies that we were, no.
It's
It's
coming
out
of
of
it.
their stuff, so,
Yeah, I talked to
yeah,
Tyler about that.
but, yeah.
So, yeah. So, okay, you guys got anything else for me?
Thank you.
I am out of here and I will get the lady called and tell her everything's been approved and we'll go from
Okay.
there.
You
Oops,
bet.
sorry.
You bet.
Got people in the hallway, so I gotta mask up. Yeah, I know.
We'll get there.
It's a pain, isn't
I
it?
know,
It
it
is a
is.
pain.
Well, that was
So,
a discussion we had last night at Public Health. I think it was Dr. Sylvia's. You know, he says, we require you to wear a mask down there. And he says, you go uptown and, you know, your Kmart, your Walls, all them require you to wear, you walk in, and he says, first thing you see is a person that's got it below his nose, the next one's hanging off his chin, one's on his ear. They are wearing their mask.
we see a lot of this, Richard.
Well, they're wearing it.
Well, and I did tell a lady the other day, I said, you're not allowed in here without a mask, and she said, I have one. And she went like that and hit her purse, and I said, without it on your face. I've had to tell 2 people that. Another guy had it in his pocket. I said, it needs to be on your face. So now when people call in, we say, you must have a mask on your face when you come in the building.
Not just on
Mhm,
you.
Not on you.
Oh.
'Cause, yeah.
Oh, it,
You know, there's
Oh
always a
my
loophole for
gosh.
something. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And we are so well liked. Driver's
Yeah, your
license.
pop-
We should
you
be
know,
lagged
Jill,
because they're getting
your
driver's license.
popularity has just skyrocketed. It's
Well,
amazing.
On the driver's license side with Pot County, we are wonderful. I bet we have done over 50% of our people in here have been Pot County. And the bad thing is they're coming down to test because they can't get it up there. We don't get a nickel for all the time we spend setting them up to test and doing the testing.
Why?
So,
And
you get
why is
nothing.
that?
You get nothing for that. When Jeff does the drives, and Shelley issues, we get $7, $3.50 for Jeff and $3.50 for Shelley.
And we can't put a surcharge on that or anything?
Now, I did have another treasurer, she's trying to get a surcharge for out-of-county people because she's close to Des Moines. And theirs was over 50% were Des Moines people. And she went to legislation, I don't know, that then
You
COVID
mean
hit.
Polk
and
County can't
Well-
handle their own people?
Council Bluffs can't handle their own
Do
people.
we get anything from Mills County people?
Same thing, $7. We get $7
Good matter.
for every
$7.
driver's license
For Mills County.
that's
There's
what we're
nothing,
paying.
we get nothing out of Pot County.
No.
Why,
no, no,
why
no.
can't we get the
Same amount of
$7?
money for everybody.
Yeah, we get the
However
same
many
amount.
driver's licenses you do.
I had a
$7.
lady drive 3 hours down here to get issued a CDL because she could not get in any county station because everybody up there's by appointments. They were 2 weeks out. The state station was 3 weeks out. She drove down here and then we had trouble because she had gone to school in Wisconsin. So she said, I'll come back Monday. I'll drive the 3 hours back down here Monday. And I said, no, if you can have a seat out there and we can call in and see if we can get somebody to help us get this through. And we were able to get it through and she thanked and thanked and thanked us. She said,
For $7.
yeah, and we got $7 out of it. And how much did she spend driving down here? But yep, that's what we got, our $7.
That has to be
They take
enough.
it to legislation
And it
almost,
gets kicked out all the time.
Oh, yeah, it'd take legislation.
because we're on a 2080 agreement.
Maybe I know, we can call Johnson County and tell them we got a problem.
Oh, yeah, they'll jump right on it.
Yeah.
Well, and
Yeah, Johnson and
some
Polk, they'll
counties
take care of us.
were refusing other counties. They were trying to help their own people. And then they threw the 28E agreement back out at us that says we will
You
issue driver's license.
shall.
Yes, yes.
You can't pick and choose.
Because my first thought was we need to take care of our own. They're the ones who paid us while we were down. They're the ones who pay us the extra
I have
to
no,
keep us
I have no
going.
problem providing the services to anyone in the state.
Right,
But let us throw a nickel on it, $1.
exactly.
Let us do
It's-
something,
it's been
let us buy some
$7.
paper clips.
I can't read.
$7.
Well, it's been $7 since I've been here, and I think it was that before.
Well, we're
I was
required
here.
to do it, but
No,
we
wasn't
can't,
it
we can't do it
5?
under our rules.
Didn't we get
It's-
a raise of $2 more? Wasn't
Not
it
since
5?
Not since I've been here. It's been 7 since I've been here.
Well, I was thinking it was 5 before that.
It probably, well, but it has been the token $4, which people still like, oh my gosh, I can't pay it, understand $4 a year for a driving privilege. But then now that is 8 years, we get a lot of people saying, God, I don't have $32, can't I have it for 2 years? Yeah,
Oh,
it is,
Jill,
it is. So,
$7.
Well, you know,
They'll
and
buy a
when you
lunch
stop
for
and, okay, then
$7.
what does the state get?
well, on a
All of it?
yeah, on a $32 license, they get the remainder.
So they get $25 a person.
But also on a senior citizen's license that is $8, I still get $7 of that. They get 1 of that. So, yeah, so that's kind of where we're at with it. But a lot of people from Pot County, it's the same thing. It's like, you guys are so much nicer down here. You're more pleasant. You don't,
Sure we are.
you don't wait forever and have them throw the stuff back in your
We're
face.
we're the greatest
So-
county in southwest Iowa.
I know we are, and that's what I tell them. I tell them we already know this, right?
Kudos to you,
So,
because I know it's hard to keep smiling and get chewed
well, that
out.
is one good thing the mask is good for.
There you go. They can't know that you stuck a
Oh,
tongue
I
out
could
to
just,
them.
I could read Jill's lips under her mask. I'm
You
going,
tell when
ooh.
my tongue stuck out at
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
Hey, I did see one, a mask with the tongue sticking out. I looked and I looked again and I was like,
Did
oh.
you see one with teeth marks that said "bite me"? That's the one I'm looking for. I know, I wouldn't have.
No,
a
but I
job.
bet somebody could create it for you if
I
you really
wouldn't
wanted
have a
one.
job, right? Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Jill.
You seen the
Oh.
face mask with the cow on it?
Yes. Or this great big smile. Yeah.
We need to get these for our public employees.
Oh, I like that one.
I got some of the big tongue. Wouldn't that look good on Jill?
Oh my God, look at that.
Hi, may I
I
help
mean,
you?
that is very genius.
Hey, when this is all
What
over,
can
with,
I
I
do
think
for
we
you
ought to have
today?
an ugly face mask party, you know?
Very genius.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that would be great to have Jill.
I licked it, so it's.
I like the one, the guy that drives
I
through
licked
it,
it so
is
it's
smoking through it. Lonnie, you got one of them yet?
Oh, yeah. Seen him.
Oh.
How are you? We're a little early, but we can fire you up here if you're ready.
Absolutely, come on up.
Yeah, you're fine. Right? We better okay it with the state.
Well, not yet, so I don't have to worry about that yet.
Right.
You own land surveying services?
I do.
Okay. I just called Lonnie the other day, we need to get my property surveyed.
Oh, I'm Lonnie.
Oh, you're Lonnie?
Yeah.
Look at that, face to the
I'm
name.
Carol Vinton.
I'm Joey Norris, the Stinnett property
Okay.
is mine, yeah. What was your
Nice
name?
meeting you. I'm Carol Vinton.
Carol, nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you.
Richard, nice to see you in the flesh. Yes.
Carol Robertson.
Carol, nice to meet you finally in the flesh as well. So
And
my
then
name
now
is,
Lonnie.
yes, and now Lonnie.
And now Lonnie.
My name is Joey Norris. I'm running for Iowa Senate District 12, which is what Richard ran against Mark Costello in the primary for. And I told Richard this, and I don't hate to embarrass you, but I think it took a lot of courage to do that, run against somebody that you don't think is doing the job right, and especially in your own party. So it's good to meet you finally in person. So Mark Costello is current senator there. He lives down just north of Imogene, technically in Mills County. So he's one of your constituents directly. So a little bit about me is I was born and raised in Red Oak, which is, I'll take a little offense. So the best part I say about getting used to this race is that I have to expand my views to other counties. So when you say Mills County is the best county, I don't know about the best, but it's darn good. So I'm from Red Oak, born and raised. I went to school at Iowa State, got a degree in aerospace engineering. Moved back to Red Oak right after college to start my company. It's called Dream Forge. We help people build products, and we do a lot of prototyping and 3D printing and rep and prototyping, things like that. So we help them take their ideas from the initial stages all the way up to produced and ready for manufacture. So that's a little bit of my background.
That's really down to aerospace engineering.
Yeah. Well, I learned I helped all of our labs get set up with all the 3D printing and CNC machines and things at Iowa State, and I learned that most of these highly educated young people don't actually know how to build things. And so one of the, which is, I know, a little wild, but one of the opportunities I had in Red Oak was we had one of the best tech centers in the state of Iowa at the time of going to high school there. And so I learned to do machining and woodworking and small engines and things like that, and then took that
Very
knowledge,
cool.
yeah, to Iowa State. That's where I wanted to be, where I learned I wanted to be an engineer. And it turns out most of those engineers are good at math and they're pretty good at physics, but they don't know much about actual hands-on putting stuff together. So I said, well, if these, some of these most educated folks in the state of Iowa, you know, in this aerospace program, don't really know how to put things together, how does that translate to a lot of other folks? And so it turns out most people don't know. They might be an artist, or they might have a good understanding of where a market is, but they don't know how to actually build it. And so we've created a pretty good team of folks that know how to build most things. We specialize in small, like electromechanical devices and things like that, but we do small farm implements and coolers and all kinds of stuff.
Where are you located at? In Red Oak?
Yep, just off the square in Red Oak on Reed Street, right next to the Red Oak Tap. If you're frequent there, but
Right next to the Red Oak what?
Tap.
Bar.
It's one of our worst bars in town, but this is a little annoying to be
Oh, I
working there.
know Red
alone.
Oak very well. My daughter is the ag loan officer with US Bank.
Oh, okay,
So
great.
I'm down there, and then
Yeah,
Dan
well,
is
we're
the,
just half a block east
That's what I
of US
thought.
Bank. Yep. So,
and Dan is the math teacher at Red Oak.
okay,
Dan
Dan.
Pollock.
Okay, I haven't been in high school in a while, but
Oh, it's beautiful. That new school
oh yeah, well, I
is
toured the new school.
so beautiful.
I was a little sad to see the tech center get a little cannibalized, but
Yeah.
at least they're using the space more efficiently than when I was there. But that's one of the things I've been interested in as well, talking and traveling around the district, is that a lot of the schools are trying to come up with some fairly unique ways of get better training. So the state senate redefined kind of what vocational was, and it's now called career and technical education. And so they're trying to expand it into like coding and you know, more building crafts and things like that. And Red Oak doesn't have a building crafts anymore. We don't have any students working on houses anymore, which we did when I was in school. And you also see then a lot of these schools that aren't doing it, and we also have a housing shortage in almost every county of those houses between like 150 and 250. You know, not too much, not too little. The kind of the Goldilocks zone of houses. And so you wonder if we're losing out on this fairly cheap labor of high school students, and we're not having those trainings anymore. And so it's kind of a marriage there that I think is, yeah, it's not a big change, but all we need is a little bit of focus there. And I think that's something that the state legislature should and
Well,
can
look
be
what
doing.
it did to you, Joey. You enjoyed building, and I keep saying every time that we're with the legislature, these young kids have to get a trade of some sort.
Right.
Once they're out, even if they go on to college, they can at least have that trade of helping them.
Right. At least some kind of hands-on experience.
Absolutely,
Right.
it's got to come back.
Drywall and plumbing.
Absolutely.
Something.
Yeah.
It's
something
got to
make you-
come back.
Something make you sweat a little and give you some tools.
Use your hands.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you, 100%.
Instead of the mouse.
Yeah, and some students are better off on the mouse and the keyboard.
Yes.
And still that is a trade, and it's something that's not quite as tangible to realize, but being able to write code and design websites and things like that, huge sought after skill. And it has to be young people, because a lot of the older folks can't retool
That
into
is
that.
so
Into that.
true.
So they're not only just building things and plumbing and things, but also both sides of that coin. And a big factor with that, when I moved back to Red Oak and was starting my company, most of our clients were around the country. And I found out that the internet access in rural Iowa is terrible, to put it very politely.
Yes. All of
but-
Iowa.
Right, but on the
Rural
flip
Iowa.
side of that, really rural Iowa has the best internet in the country. So the small telecom operators, like in Stanton and Essex, I think Mineola has a farmers. They have fiber optic accessibility because they get this direct federal and state taxes on the line. So when you in Glenwood pay for your internet, most of the taxes that you're paying goes to Mediacom so that they can build out Council Bluffs. Because why would they spend more money in an area? Glenwood's a little unique because you actually get a lot of overflow, and so your population is coming up, so they might do it. When I talked with both Mediacom and CenturyLink in Red Oak, they said flatly, why would we invest in Red Oak? And we can take that same money, and there's no regulations against it, and just build out our infrastructure better in Council Bluffs for people that are actually going to pay us. Well, that's a little wild. You're the incumbent. It is your responsibility under federal law to provide for us. Well, you're provided. under the federal, the FCC's regulations, you're provided with 10.3, which is terribly slow. But they define everything by census block. And so in rural Iowa, census block could be as much of an actual city block, or it could be as much as like 5 square miles.
Yes.
And if one person is served, everybody's served, even though they might live on the gravel road in the back and never have anything but satellite internet. My folks have satellite internet, and it's at kilobit speed. That is dial-up speed. You remember the obnoxious tones from back in the day? That's the speed that they're working at on today, which is it's just wild.
It is.
And so I started a task force in Red Oak for our county, and we for fiber optics specifically, and we helped the Farmers Mutual in Stanton solicit funding from the USDA, and so we will have the entire county built out to fiber optic direct to every home and business within 2 to 5 years. Everything except for Red Oak.
But they got a nice pool.
You're right. Yep, the several
That's
million
another
dollars. Yeah, which we could use the same money to build out all the fiber,
Absolutely.
but it's a nice pool. And so we help them succeed there, and they'll take that, and hopefully we'll be able to then move it into Red Oak, and it will be the first county in the state of Iowa to have that connectivity. And when Secretary of the USDA, Sonny Perdue, was in Stanton to give out the award, he told us that it would likely be the first county in the entire nation to have that kind of connectivity. And if Red Oak can do it, Stanton has already expanded down into Taylor and Ringgold counties, and Swift is in Page and Fremont County. I feel like the entire district.
Well, Mills can say game on.
Right. Exactly. It would show people that it's possible, and I feel like the entire southwest corner could be connected in that way. And we kind of live in this nice little nook where we're not too far from Council Bluffs or Omaha, we're not too far from Kansas City, we're not too far from Des Moines. And if we could show people that we have better connectivity than they get in those big cities, for I would argue a better lifestyle.
Game changer.
Game changer, yeah.
Absolutely.
So it's not the silver bullet, but it's something to do. And it's something we can do realistically. So that's just a little bit about me. I really wanted to kind of see what the biggest issues to each of you were, and how the state legislature could be doing better for Mills County.
They could help us with the driver's license.
Yeah.
And
Took some
the-
notes.
And the
Took some notes, I'll
record-
call
yeah,
Jill later.
Recorder's the same way with the, with the DNR, with the hunting licenses and fees. Providing the service is not a problem, it's not an issue, no one cares. But, like, I can't say no one cares, everybody cares, but that doesn't bother anybody. But doing it for free or 2 cents and then being mandated, let us charge $1. I mean, if someone gets a driver's license, they would have no problem paying an extra $5, or a hunting license, pay an extra $5. But let us keep it.
Well, that's the
Local
whole
control,
point. We
I
get
mean-
so many mandates from the state.
Yeah, I mean,
And,
everything's
and then,
mandated.
we've got to come up with the funding to take care of them, and then the state just keeps more of it.
Yeah.
That's one of my issues.
You think it's just, at the very least, it hasn't kept up? So they're charging about the same rate.
Well, I
but
guess
they're
when the
getting more.
state has a surplus, I'm thinking, okay, you guys got a surplus and you can do this. If you just let the counties have a little bit more, then we wouldn't have to,
But we don't want to take
ask
anything
for-
from the state, we would just like to be able to charge for our services.
Well, at the very least, I hate saying it, but I mean, it'd be a little bit of more of a progressive thing. If a lot of the rural counties are struggling anyway.
Yes, let us charge $2 for a copy or a driver's license or a
I
hunting
bet you she
license.
would pay
Yeah.
at least $2
Well,
to.
and then
Yeah,
another thing
or
we get
5, I
caught
mean,
on,
That's right.
like
You
for
cap it
instance,
at $5, I don't care, but
yeah, like for instance, in the treasurer's office, your state equipment and stuff, we still get stuck with most of that. And yet they get all the gravy off of it as it's, I mean, it has to be,
we have to provide it and we can't charge.
Well, they
anything for it.
provide us with the equipment, and they
On
maintain
some
it.
of things,
All
yeah.
the
Some
state,
things.
all the state stuff, they pay for that, but.
yeah, I mean, and Lonnie brought up a very good point, mandates. I've been at this for many years, and they still come down with mandates. If you guys can't afford to pay for it, why should it be shifted to the local tax person to raise the taxes to pay for it?
Right.
That is not right.
Right.
If the state wants this done, and they think it's such a great idea, why should it come to the Board of Supervisors in every county to raise the taxes for the, to pay for the program they want? And prime example is,
That's for sure, doesn't it?
Right, yeah. Shifts the cost.
Look
Makes
what
prime
we
example
did.
is,
life hard for you, it makes their taxes go up, right?
Well,
child,
and
child
the-
mental health, you know, that,
Right.
the state said, well, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this. And I asked them very seriously, I says, if you're gonna do it, then put some money with it. The governor wants this, you want it, you should help pay for it.
Right.
And,
Nope.
and let us charge for it, but we can't. I mean,
Yeah, and then we turn around and have to charge the people down here to pay for it.
and they
Right.
cap us
So-
on what we can charge. So they're mandating the services we've gotta provide, but they cap us on,
The handicapping your
We're-
ability to do it.
we're destined to fail.
Yeah, right.
You know, it's provide these services, they cost $1,000. Okay, but you can only charge 100. Well, that doesn't work. It doesn't work.
You already know how I feel on the election law, so we
Right.
don't have to go through that
I'm
part
glad
right
it
now.
didn't turn out as bad as you hoped it, or you thought it might, so it's still not the greatest, but,
It's just frustrating.
did you ever hear from Costello?
Again, you mean?
Yeah.
No, he thinks we're good.
We don't hear from him
It's all
much.
good. All good.
Yeah, he used my name in vain, that after talking to me, he made his decision, and it's like, we didn't have that good of a conversation. And I wouldn't have bragged about that, but yeah.
Well, I'll be honest with you, I'm just gonna, I called him yesterday. I finally went down the hill far enough. I thought, well, okay, I gotta figure out what's going on here. And when I told him, you know, we was battling with FEMA trying to get our money and stuff, and he says, I'm glad you informed me. He says, I should know that. And I almost hung up, but I didn't. But I thought, you know, if you don't want to take care of your constituents, why are you in this? You know, and he was in the basement of his house in Des Moines. I'm very quick.
You're not the only one that says that, though.
No.
Every county I talk to, just about every leader there says they've never heard from him, and the things that they have talked to him about, there's nothing coming from him. So that's why I know it's good politics to say it, but it's you know, he needs to go.
Yeah.
And so I appreciate you running against him, because I would have taken a decent Republican over him anyway. So I'm a Democrat, by the way.
We knew that. It's okay. We don't hold that personally against you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That's how I can win. If you do, there's no chance. So that's, I guess we got the FEMA issue.
FEMA is the big issue. Engineers been waiting.
I heard you talking
And
about taxes there. At
so
first
now
I thought you meant COVID, but is it all the property taxes for land that they're not able to use because of the flooding? Is that what Jill is saying?
Well, and what
So-
they're upset about is, yeah, it's been 16 months or more
Right.
since this, or more, really more, since this happened. Okay, in that time, these people, a lot of them have been without a home. You know, no place to go, had to go buy something or move somewhere and stuff. And I can see their point. They're very upset that, hey, why can't I get my money so I can move on? And then they turn around and you get a tax statement, which they have to realize is the last half
Oh, last year.
18. Carol?
No, yes,
Yeah.
it'll be 18.
Yeah. So that was due anyway. That was there because the property was fined January 1
Right,
of 2019.
right.
Okay, a lot of people, I had a
I mean, the
law,
way the tax system is
I know, it's a little
built,
goofy, isn't it? Yeah.
it's hard. People, the general public does not understand that, and also like Richard said, in their situation, you know, it's been a long time. Well, the state they're holding part of the money. They don't have the demo contract with the state quite done yet, so we're kind of waiting on that part, but yeah, and you know, here are these people wanting to close. Well, we're doing taxes right now, and they're gonna get another tax statement, and, you know, they're not gonna wanna pay it, but it's gonna get paid
Right,
before we
and
take
they were there,
possession.
they were the owners and operators
know.
at the time, right?
I know.
It's just so
And
far behind us, yeah.
then another thing, you know, the state of Iowa, all the states got X amount of dollars. We got $1.25 billion that's supposed to be divided up to the counties and the cities, you know, through the state. And the state's kinda dragging their feet because they don't know exactly how to do it. They don't wanna be held liable for it.
They know what they're doing. It's going through Johnson and Polk County
Yeah,
in their cities, and once they decide how much they want, then they'll divvy up the rest of it.
right.
That's what's gonna
That's
happen.
what's gonna happen. I mean, I've been on this long enough to know that you got two counties in the state of Iowa that control basically everything, and that's Polk and Johnson County. You know, it's just the way it is. Mental health, Polk County was in trouble, so the state ponies up $5 million to them. And I'm going,
And they were their own region because they're
Right.
so wonderful. You know, it's just a joke.
Right.
It's sad.
well, then Lonnie's on workforce development, and he
Sorta.
hasn't attended, yeah, sorta. He hasn't attended meetings because
Yeah.
why do you want to travel, what,
Van Buren County.
For an hour meeting.
for an
Yeah,
hour
2
meeting?
hours maybe.
Yeah,
Doesn't look good that
region
you're
wise.
combining everybody
Well,
together.
they got rid of
They
some
could
of the
care less.
they got rid of some of the administration part on the state side, so it looks great. You know, look at the money we cut, but the services are horrible now.
Oh,
It's
right.
no one in Van Buren County knows what happens in Mills County, and vice versa. You're too
Nor do they
big.
care.
But damn, they look good.
Right. It's unfortunate we've gotten to that reality, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
better to just look good rather than actually perform well.
Right. Right.
and when they went to the MCOs and stuff for mental health, biggest mistake the state did, they should have tried this, just because other states says, well, it works good in Kansas, it works good here, it works good there. If you go back and look, Kansas took almost 9 years before they got on top of it. So, does the state of Iowa need 9 years of bungling health care? I mean,
Ramping up the
payments.
costs, Yeah.
I know when I served on on the MAC board, I brought up one time in a meeting that this certain MCO owed Nishta Productions it was $280-some thousand. I brought this up during the meeting, and there was people looking down the table like, you know, just like, huh? They just give us a report that said they were doing fine. I said, you can believe what you want, folks, but I says, I can show you in black and white. And the little lady that was in charge of that MCO, she come over and she says, sir, I would like to talk to you before you leave. Well, I'm just telling basic facts, you know, I
Right.
mean,
Right.
and then the board chair, he says, well, maybe I shouldn't have let you done what you did. I says, no. I said, you need to know what's going on.
Right.
You know, I says, if these people, if out here in the rural area, we're not getting our money, why should we be cashing in CDs and things like that to pay our bills?
Mhm.
Oh, he says, that would be, I says, yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah.
And they're still not completely up to par paying their bill. They're better than they were, but they still haven't gotten the situation corrected to where they need someone to watch. We call it the chicken and the fox.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
the hen house.
Yeah.
You can't let the fox in the hen house and still survive. So,
Right.
and
Can't
no
have the
one's
fox
controlling
writing
it.
reports.
Yeah, nobody's controlling it, and that's not the way it should be set up. So,
Right. I know it's a terrible phrase, but I mean the ignorance is bliss. If
Yeah.
you know, maybe I shouldn't let you talk next time because it's nice to just think that everything's going all right.
well, you know,
it's better
and,
to be uncomfortable and actually be doing your
well,
job.
they did. The three ladies that were on the three MCOs, they got it. They gave a very nice report and stuff. We had it all here in black and white, and I thought, well, this is just a time to blow the bubble. And after that, there was a lot of people that brought things up that, you know, should have been brought up. So they've done some changing.
That's the unfortunate part is everybody gets a little comfortable doing things just the way they've always done them, and they don't realize that it's not, you know,
It's time to change.
it's time to change. Yeah, do things a little differently.
Well, and my biggest thing with the legislators is, and my House representative calls me all the time, It's like, if you wanna know what's going on in those counties and you wanna see how that's gonna affect them, call that county, say, hey, if we put this mandate, what's that gonna do for you guys? Or how can we help mitigate that? Or just check in once in a while. I mean, and then, you know, if we send you an email and say, hey, these are my concerns, you know, it'd be nice if, you know, it was just answered and said, I'm looking at it, or what have you,
There's a gentleman out there that is your
Right.
dad.
you know?
It's
That, those are my key things. To find
You got
out
a
what,
mask on?
is it just going to help, you know, the Polks and the Johnson counties? Or is this gonna help everybody? It was just like when they put in the, when they combined the city and school election. You
Right.
know, the big counties, oh, this is gonna be great, this is gonna be wonderful. Well, no, it's not great for, and we tried to explain that, but it didn't really matter. It's
Right.
more costly for the small
Right,
counties.
and then you have to print all the ballots for all the
Yes.
different precinct
Yes,
locations. Yep.
yes,
Yep.
yes, and that's why I had, Representative C came and worked my election. I invited, Senator Seek and Costello, sorry,
That's okay,
Costello.
everybody forgets about him.
Yeah, to come, and he said, no, I can't.
Well, it's funny, I was just at the Glenwood School Board meeting last week, and I was talking with Greg Schultz afterwards, and he said they had Costello down, and he did come to a meeting a year or so ago, and they were talking, or it was when they're, it was more than that, it was when they're doing the Chapter 20 redo, so the teachers were losing their union power, a lot of their union structure. And they were telling him how they thought it was gonna be a problem for their teachers, and he just said, you know, I want you to be quiet. You know, I know more about education than all of you together, and so what I want to do is the best. And Greg was like, well, you know, I'm the dumb one on the board. I only have a bachelor's degree, but everybody else has got a master's, and one person's working on a PhD. And here Mark Costello is telling everybody that he knows much more than they do about education, and that they should just be quiet. And he's like, that rubbed us the wrong way. I'm glad you came and talked to us. It's like, yep, that's my big thing. I ask the experts, and they tell me, you know, I might disagree with them on some things, but I'm going to ask them first.
He got his homeschool bills passed.
Yep.
He wanted done.
Yep.
And that's all he cared about.
Yep. His all
And-
right. So.
And,
That's right.
he has,
Just going to trail off there, huh?
yeah,
Okay, well, I don't want to waste any more of you guys' time, but I appreciate you letting me talk to you, and
Yeah, thanks for coming in.
Thanks, Joyce.
my
This
cell
is
phone
very
number
nice.
is 712-621-5639. That's 621-JOEY. And you can call me anytime, and I'd like to hear more about, you know, like if something big comes up, or, you know, if there's not movement that you think there needs to be, I'd like to hear about it, so.
Yeah.
And I did hear, back from the county, Democrat chair, and they are convening the, Democratic convention. They have to do it sometime before August 14th. So,
Okay. Yeah, I saw Goose leaving. Didn't get a chance to talk to him. I'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
So it's clear to her what the rules are on that?
yep, she was contacted by the state, and, she came in and talked to us, and, you know, we received the paper. We did not accept it from Goose, and he was unaware that it wasn't legit. And
Right.
so I just told him there had been some concerns with, you know, some of the members on the board and how the election went, and she apologized. She didn't realize that she hadn't done things right, and she got her direction from the state, and so she was contacting the delegates and supposed to let us know what time frame, but the state person is
So he
is
doesn't
working with
have
her.
to go out and get 100 signatures and,
not if the party reconvenes and he's the candidate that they choose. No, if
Who's
the
that, Goose?
political party,
It's kind of a weird loophole.
it is.
So Fremont County, Page County, and Taylor County have all done it as well, but Republicans have lost onto the Democratic ballot.
really?
Yeah, it's kind of goofy, but they want to do it. I
Well,
guess.
see, and I don't think you would have seen any of that going on if the legislature hadn't changed the way you can be on the ballot in November you would have had to take in the papers as a no party, basically, nomination by petition, back when you did your primary ones.
Right.
And done the same thing. And then that would have put you on the ballot for the general election without having to go to another party and asking to be put on here. So,
We'll see what they do.
Yeah.
But thanks for keeping me updated. Appreciate
Good
it.
luck.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Yes, Joey, thank you.
thanks for stopping in.
Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you.
Okay, is our meeting over?
That's it, isn't it?
Tax sale certificate.
That you did that one. Did somebody make a motion on that? That was on the agreement for the assignment.
No, we just made the
We did the resolution.
resolution.
okay.
We didn't do the
Okay.
agreement.
So,
So I'll make a motion for the assignment for the tax sale.
Second.
2010.
We've got a motion and a second to approve the agreement for the assignment of the tax sale certificate 2010-01-008. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Alright,
and then the next
now
item.
we're formal.
Yeah, the next item needs to be tabled because Tyler did not, he was still waiting to hear back from the contractor on some portion of it. So he said hopefully it should be ready for next week if they got back to him in time.
Alright. Thank you.